Welcome to the first episode of Make It Perfect, where we take one recipe and make it perfect. Today, we're going to talk about the pumpkin pie. There's nothing that encapsulates the feeling of fall more than pumpkin pie. Now, it's important to acknowledge pie problems. There's a lot of pie problems in this world, right? Right. Now, we start with the crust, the foundation of a perfect pumpkin pie. So a crust needs to have a combination of flakiness, structurally strong, and taste great. There's not much difference between crusts. The majority of them are all the same recipe, but the major difference is the fat you use. So what I did to find out the difference is made pie crust cookies. I made one with butter, shortening, and lard. So how did it taste? So we'll start with the butter crust. Not too flaky. I would prefer it to be a little more flaky, but it has really great flavor. Now the half butter, half shortening. Great flavor from the butter. But adding the shortening to it, it's crazy how much it changes the texture. It's like super flaky, and it's like a nice dry, like crisp. It's really amazing. It's really good. Now we'll try the lard. Tastes like ham. Why do they use that? Recap, great flavor, not great texture. Great flavor, great texture. To make this perfect crust, start with your dry ingredients. Add 3 cups of flour to a bowl, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and give it a mix. Then add 12 tablespoons of butter. It's really important that the butter is cold so it doesn't melt. And then add a 1/3 cup of shortening. Now you can use a food processor to mix this all together, or you can just use your hands. The point of this is to create little butter balls, which is going to become the flake in the crust. It's very important to preserve those. The last step is to add the water. Cold water. Give it a quick mix, wrap it up, and let it chill for at least 30 minutes. Now roll the dough out. Grab a pie tin that's been buttered, and using the roller, roll the pie over the tin. A cool little tip is to grab some of the excess dough and use that to pack in the corners so you're not poking a hole with your fingers. Trim the edge, and beautify the crust, either with your fingers or with a fork. Now, have you ever made a crust where air bubbles have formed and it's ruined the shape of your crust, or the walls have collapsed? The best way to get rid of the bubbles is to, before baking it, poke it with a fork, so any gas that's trapped under the crust will escape. And to prevent the walls from collapsing, grab a piece of parchment paper and crumple it up, and then put something heavy, either clean pennies, clay baking beans, or you can even just use beans. Now you got your crust, ready to be filled with pie-filling goodness. Now when it comes to finding a pumpkin for your pumpkin pie, the large traditional pumpkins just won't do. They've grown too big and are now bitter, and all they're good for are jack-o'-lanterns. Okay. And if you use canned pumpkin, it might have great color, but it lacks the flavor and that texture a good scratch pumpkin pie needs. So in my recipe, we're going to use 3 types of pumpkin. Your normal pumpkin, your acorn squash, and your kabocha pumpkin. So now we need to turn the pumpkins into puree. Cut them in half, remove the seeds, and roast them. Puree in a food processor. So all these different pumpkins have their own different characteristics and different flavors that make them good for pumpkin pie. Like your normal pumpkin. Pretty good color, good pumpkin flavor. Your acorn squash. Awesome flavor, awesome flavor. Kind of this yellow color, so it's not like a pumpkin pie color, but the flavor it gives is like this buttery, nutty, delicious. Oh, so good. And this is your kabocha pumpkin. It's got this really, really deep orange pumpkin pie color. So it's fantastic. It's fantastic for adding color. And the flavor is just like, almost like buttery melon pumpkin. It's very bizarre, but it's really delicious. And if you mix all these together, it gets this super nice color from the kabocha and the butteriness of the acorn squash, and then just the traditional aromatics of a normal pumpkin. Delicious. So to make the filling, add 1 cup of pumpkin puree, 1/2 cup of acorn squash puree, then 1/2 cup of kabocha puree. So let's talk eggs. Have you ever made a pie and when it was done cooling, and you ended up with these cracks along the side, which can completely ruin your presentation? This is because the egg whites expand when they cook, and when they cool down they contract, which will pull the pie back together, making these cracks. So to prevent that, we'll add 1 egg and 3 egg yolks to eliminate the egg whites. For the best sweetener flavor, we'll add 3/4 cup of packed brown sugar. And it's not a pumpkin pie without fall spices, so we'll add 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, pinch of clove, pinch of salt, and some nutmeg. And for the last ingredient, 1 1/4 cup cream. Then bake in an oven at 325 degrees for 30 to 45 minutes. Poke it, and once it's clean coming out, it's ready to go. Let it slowly cool at room temperature, and then let it finish chilling in the fridge. While it's chilling, we'll quickly whip up some whipped cream. 1 cup of cream, 2 tablespoons of sugar. Whisk fast. I love pumpkin pie. But let's give it a taste. We'll go through the complicated flavor profile of the pumpkin pie. Oh my God, that's unreal. Making pumpkin pie with real pumpkins is the greatest thing on earth. It is so delicious. Oh, geez. You get that nuttiness from the butternut squash and just like the real pumpkin flavor, not like a canned flavor. Oh, it's so good. And the texture, it's not like this like smooth, silky canned puree stuff. It's like this, you actually have like texture to the pumpkin filling. Unreal. Oh my gosh. And then the crust, even on the outside, check this out. It's like still crispy. If you guys don't do anything fall related this fall, at least make a pumpkin pie from real pumpkins. It's the best. It's so good. Oh, jeez. Oh, I love food. We gotta give it away. We gotta share the love. Come on.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
This is good.
Can I add some whipped cream? Go.
Hey guys, thank you very much for watching. I love talking to people about food. I love teaching them. I love everything about it. So if you guys want to keep learning more, please stay tuned and keep watching. And have a great fall, great holidays, and as always, keep cooking. Okay, bye.